Hi, welcome to Really Cooking with Robin. Today we're going to be making crepes, and crepes are so easy, even an 8-year-old can make them. Right, Mace?
Yes.
Our special guest today is Mason. He's one of my prize students from my cooking camps this summer, and he has graciously agreed to cook with me today and make some crepes. So let's get started. It's a very simple recipe. It only requires a little bit of butter, 4 eggs, a half a cup of whole wheat flour, 1½ cups of white flour, 2 1/4 cups of whole milk, and a pinch of salt. And all you need for a tool is a blender. Any blender will do. You can actually whisk it up too if you don't have a blender, but it works really well with the blender. And then a nonstick fry pan and a spatula. And it's as simple as that. So the first thing you want to do is blend everything in the blender. You want to crack your 4 eggs. Always crack your eggs off to the side and then open them up into the blender. You don't want to ever crack on the side of the dish because the shell could go in. So you always crack either in a separate dish or on the surface that you're making next to where you're making the crepes. And then you add your milk, your flour, and the melted butter goes on last, and a pinch of salt. And then you put it on your blender and you blend it up until everything is incorporated. I would say probably no more than 2 minutes, and everything should be blended nice. I will tell you that the whole wheat flour has a tendency to settle to the bottom. So as you are ladling your crepe into your pan, you might want to give it a good stir just to get the whole wheat up towards the top of the mixture so that it's blended nice and evenly. So once your batter is done, remove the blade. If your blender does have a removable blade, remove the blade and then use I find a ladle works really well, or you could use a small measuring cup, and then you want to heat your pan with just a kiss of olive oil, which is a tablespoon. Get your pan nice and hot, and the trick to making crepes is to getting your pan nice and hot and keeping it at that nice even temperature. Usually the first one doesn't always come out, it's no big deal, but it usually takes like two crepes to really get it going. Sometimes they start out and they just, the temperature is just perfect and the crepes work just fine. So you ladle in approximately, 2 tablespoons for each crepe. And the trick is to pour it into the center of the pan and swirl the pan around gently but fast. Do a fast motion. And if your pan is at the right heat, it should form up very quickly. Put it back down on the heat and then just let it sit there so the edges start to brown up. And once you see the edges start to brown up, you can get your spatula under the one side a little bit, lift up on the crepe, push the spatula under completely, and then flip it in one smooth motion. Once you get good at this, you'll be able to take the pan and give it a little shimmy and flip it. They're very easy to flip. We flipped them together, didn't we, Mason?
Yes.
And it was a lot of fun. So Mason actually is better at flipping crepes than I am. So that's, and then once you get started, you can really, you can have a lot of fun with it and flip them. And once they're done, you can just stack them on a plate. You can keep a damp cloth on them as you're stacking them up on a plate, or you could keep them in the oven on warm, like a 250, while you're making the rest of them. And then you can fill them with anything. Today we're going to fill them with some blackberries and some fresh blackberries and some frozen strawberries. And I'll also show you how to make a very simple filling for a fruit crepe. You can also make lasagna with them. You can make, Nutella is really good with bananas. You can do a breakfast, scramble eggs in them. It's unlimited what you can put in a crepe. And they freeze really well too. So when you're done with them and you have extras and you don't, want to waste them, you can simply fold them into a nice triangle, place them in a freezer bag, and they'll keep in the freezer for up to 3 months. So to make a fruit filling, all you need, again, is a nonstick pan and some agave. I think agave is great to use to sweeten the fruit a little bit. It's low in the glycemic measure. It's very good. Your body will metabolize it better than any other sugar. You could also use honey, and you could also use sugar. But I do prefer to cook with agave. It doesn't overpower the fruit, and it gives it a nice mellow sweetness. So all you want to do is heat the fruit up in a pan, a nonstick pan. When the fresh fruit starts to turn like a bright color, we're using blackberries today, so when the blackberries get very bright and vibrant in color, you'll know they're done. and you just add a kiss of olive oil, which again is a tablespoon, and gently stir them. And as they start to come up into this bright color, turn the heat off and let it sit, and it'll just caramelize together and make a delicious filling. With frozen fruit, you do the same thing. You heat it in a nonstick pan. We're using sliced frozen strawberries today. You put it in a nonstick pan over a low heat, let them come up. You'll see them start to defrost basically, and they'll start to cook a little bit. Another kiss of agave, just another tablespoon, and let them slowly melt into the agave, and you'll see them, they come up to color. They're not as bright as a fresh fruit. And then just turn them off and let them sit, and they will come up nicely too. And now you have two delicious fillings. And then you just place them inside the crepe, fold the crepe up. You can roll it, roll the crepe. You can fold it flat. You can fold it into a triangle if you'd like. It's whatever you want to do. Be creative with it. Have fun with it. I like to roll them up and then put some little bit of whipped cream inside and a little bit of whipped cream on the outside when we do the fruit crepes. So there you have it, crepes. Easy enough for an 8-year-old to make. Right, Mace?
Yes.
Yeah. So we had a great time today. Thank you for being here with us, and we hope to see you real soon. So until we meet again, here's to the journey.
If you want to flip some crepes, come down to summer camp at Really Cooking with Robin.
See ya. Really Cooking with Robin is a labor of love. We're a cooking school like no other. We offer kids in the kitchen, adult classes. We do corporate events, we do private parties, we do birthday parties. We have a cookbook library free to the public. We take donated cookbooks. We have a unique kitchenware store, and we have a consignment shop. So come down and check us out at the Hillcrest Shopping Plaza. We're at 138 West Germantown Pike. Hope to see you soon.